month. All right, so we need to establish some due dates. Oh, we have the quiz on 20 on Friday. Master set on Monday the 7th. That's right, we do have class the week of spring break. All right. So this group or the other group talked about tests before or after spring break. I guess it's the other group. So, the next test, before or after spring break?
When is spring break?
What was that?
When is spring break?
15th through the 17th. We would miss lab, we would not. So, I guess that means the test would be the 9th or the 23rd?
Is it going to be just on chapter 20? Or
20 and 21.
Okay, and have we started going over 21 yet?
Yeah, we finished 21.
Okay. Wait, what was, you said the quiz this Friday was on chapter 20?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this exam would cover material through which chapter?
20 and 21.
Oh. I mean, if we finish covering the material that's on that exam, I'm not opposed to having it on the 9th, just for the sake of not having it feel like too rusty, but I'm happy to do it on the 23rd if that's what the majority wants.
I agree with Anna. If we've already gone over all the content, and if this week and next Monday are going to be talking about the content still, then I'm fine with doing it the 9th.
What was the last bit that you said about talking about the content?
If we're going to keep going, are we going over 20 and 21 today, or are we moving on to new materials?
I was going to do one thing with 21 and then new material.
Okay. Then yeah, if we're going ahead and moving on to new material, then it's probably smart to go ahead and get the test out of the way. So the 9th is fine.
That's 2 weeks from this Wednesday, so we still have plenty of time.
That's
I don't know
1
that we
week
need
from
a-
this Wednesday.
Yeah, it should be next.
Yeah, it's just next
Wednesday of next week.
Got it, okay. That
2 weeks from
much
this
better.
Wednesday is
Great.
spring break.
I see. Yeah, I am very comfortable with that. I think
If you look up spring break on the calendar on the school website, it just says Wednesday and Thursday, but Tuesday is, campus is closed.
Huh.
So your spring break is 3 days.
Right.
Are we going to have class that Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
The Mackenzie, right now, we're talking about whether to have the test before or after spring break. All right, so right now, 2 people have expressed opinions. Zach, Wesley, Mackenzie? Whatever.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it doesn't.
And Wesley?
I'll do whatever.
I figure if we've covered all the material already, then waiting another 3 weeks to take it would just make it rustier, right?
All right, so that comes down to the quiz and master set for 21. So our options are ignore it, just don't do it for 21, or to double up somewhere. At least that's the way I'm seeing the options at the moment. I will tell you that the quiz on 21 is I will even tell you which one it's gonna be based on. In theory. Labs. It's the one that has 4 batteries and a bunch of resistors. Oh, there we go. No, that's chapter. I do not have the homework questions for that chapter here. So there's one of the questions that is on the homework assignment for 21. Later on, if I'm looking at the textbook or go online to find the PDF, I can identify specifically the problem that it will be based on. But it's very similar to what we did on last Friday, as in 3 days ago, except it's 4 batteries and a couple more resistors. So, any thoughts about whether we ignore chapter 21, or the homework quiz for 21, or take it?
It's just the quiz, not the master set.
And or master set. Yes?
Is the master set also due this Friday? Is the master set also due this Friday?
For chapter
No,
20.
master set for
Monday.
chapter 20 is due on Monday. Right now, we're sort of talking about master set for 21. 20 is sort of set. All right, so here's the advantage for at least let's talk about the quiz and not the master set. The advantage of doing the quiz for 21 is it's yet one more practice before the test, because it's similar enough to the last problem that will be on the test. And also, in the past, I've done the similar to, hey, if you do better on this one, then I can update your quiz grade if I need to. That would be the advantage of doing the quiz. Similar argument to master set is one of the problems on the master set is a problem very much like the last question on the test. And yet one more bit of practice that you're going to, I would hope, be doing anyway.
I am in favor of doing the quiz and not as in favor of doing the master set, but I am open to whatever the class wants to do. That's based on time.
Wesley's abstaining.
I'm just abstaining out of it.
So no master set for 21.
Well, that's sort of, I think, where Anna was leaning.
But it's, if you are in favor of doing the master set, that's totally fine, I get that. For great reasons. I'm just voting that based on time, but if it would help other people to do it, then I can agree.
I think the quiz would be more helpful.
Assuming we don't do the master set, would you post solutions for the master set somewhere for us to look at?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
So
He said if you do it or don't do it.
if we don't,
I mean, either way.
either way.
All right. So here's what I propose then. And I will write this down even. Hopefully onto the calendar too. All right, so some of this stuff we already had. So Friday, 3-4, got the quiz on 20. That's the homework quiz. I take 2 questions, et cetera, et cetera. Monday, 3-7. We got the master set on 20 and also quiz on 21. And then Wednesday, 3-9, we have test 1B. This is what I'm proposing. So master set 21 we will ignore, and hopefully I'll remember to post solutions.
You said 1B will be on 20 and 21?
Yeah. So chapters 20, 21. or if you prefer 20 through 21. Yes, Brooke?
I would normally say, like, having the master set for 21 would be a good idea, but like, we don't have that much time to do it unless we wanna submit all 3 things next Monday, and I don't think that's,
Okay, so an argument for not doing master set 21?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the other alternative is we could push the test back 2 weeks and have more time to submit the master set and go through the material, if people are in favor of that.
I mean, I'm staying out.
You're allowed to
Staying
have an
out.
opinion.
I'm staying out.
I would say that, but knowing me, I'll probably forget more than gain more,
I think that's true for me too.
because since we're not gonna be in class.
Oh,
Yeah.
he can help.
We need another opinion.
Oh, I am known for being opinionated.
Excellent.
so-
Yeah, I'm staying out of it here since you just take over.
Okay.
I'm thinking we're gonna not do the master set for 21, that's where we're at right now.
Not do the master set for 21.
So we had a discussion about
We can either have the exam, like, is it next week?
Yeah.
next
Yeah,
Wednesday.
next Wednesday.
Okay.
Or 2 weeks from then. We've kind of come to the conclusion we're going to do it next week,
Okay.
because we've covered all the material already.
Okay.
You can object if you'd like.
That's fine with me.
So then the question is, do we wanna do the chapter 21 master set and or quiz? And several of us said that we were in favor of doing the quiz, but not the master set, for the sake of time. But, you know, it could be helpful for grades, to do homework, and we don't know when it's all due, so.
I agree with everything you guys have decided. Do the quiz, the master set. Yes. Test next Wednesday.
Is that okay with you, Brooke, or are you still wanting to do the master set?
No, it's okay, I like the timeline we have.
Alright. So I think we are now, I'm ready to write it down on my calendar.
I think so.
Woo! Alright, so master set 20 and then quiz on 21 on Monday, and then test 1B. And post solutions for master set 21. So well, I guess Wednesday we got lab, so if it's not posted then, just remind me, and then I can just come into my office, take care of it.
Remind you by when?
Wednesday, in 2 days. I was about to say, send me an email, but you'll see me on Wednesday. If you need it before Wednesday because of your schedule or just your own personal eccentricities, then send me an email. Preferably after I've had some time to do it. Just a flash of the student setting up to send me an email every 5 minutes until I get it done. I assume it's possible to do that now.
Probably.
Schedule them ahead of time, set that on increments.
Alright, so what I want to do is first in the textbook, they bring into something which I don't usually consider. So oftentimes they'll have the battery here, however many they have, how many cycles in this thing, right? And then they have a small little resistor right there, and then they'll have another resistor over here. I think they put a dotted line around that. So this is the DC power supply. And this is the internal resistance. So as the current, once you hook the battery up to a circuit and current starts to flow, there's some certain amount of resistance already in it, and so therefore, because there's a current flowing across the resistor, there is a change in potential. So if this is a 12-volt power supply, it's really not 12 volts that you're getting out, because you're gonna lose some potential going across the resistor, the resistance within the battery itself. And so this right here, this ideal, that's the EMF. And then the actual voltage of the battery is, well, voltage. So I don't think I really mentioned that before. I think I might have made some passing reference to internal resistance, but this is the way the textbook tends to bring it up, is to just throw a tiny little resistor right there, which makes some of the problems that they have in chapter 21 just a real nuisance, because they keep throwing in these extra tiny little bits of resistance, which is realistic, but it's a nuisance to suddenly, you're dealing with all integers except for this. So on the quiz for 21, yeah, because we did agree to the quiz on 21, yeah. So on the quiz on 21, instead of having the internal resistance like they do, all I do is get the battery there, and then I throw in 2 resistors. I use an unrealistic number for the internal resistance and just call it another resistor. It's in series, you can just add them together. In this case. All right, so what I would like to do, considering, in case you've missed it, the several times I've mentioned it, I want you to work through a problem with what is the current flowing across each of the resistors. Now recognize that the direction of the batteries I write, basically the structure that I give, whatever the direction of the battery is can flip. It's not always, the one on the left's not always current flowing up, this one has current flowing down. They do have resistors there. Let's put that one up. And let's put that one up. And let's do some numbers. Oh, another decision point that should be made at some point is, on the test, when I give this problem, do you want all the answers to be integers or not? Now the advantage is, if you get all integers in your final answer, you're feeling pretty good. If they're not all integers and they're supposed to be, then you now are left with this dilemma of, how much time am I going to spend to figure out what the minus sign is off? Or I could just, throw out numbers like I'm about to do and, let it be whatever it'll be. So let's go with 3 ohms, 5 ohms, 7 ohms, 9 ohms, and then 4 volts, 6 volts, 8 volts. So that's the chart. Drop across the, let's do the 9. Subscripts are references to the value of the resistor, of resistance. Trouble seeing something?
No, I'm looking at it.
Okay. All right, and I'm also going to do something bold here. I'm going to pause the video and hope that I remember it when we come back as a group.
Should write it on the board.
I should.
Mr. Harrison will remind you.
That has actually failed before doing that. Alright, so just be careful about which technique you're doing, and again, pick one of them, make sure you know it. If you're doing the one per path, method one, you got the two junctions and you've got three paths to get from one to the other. So those are the three currents that you're gonna do. Clockwise, counterclockwise, doesn't matter. Just for the sake of something different, I'm gonna call this I sub B going up, I sub C going up, and I sub D. I'll have them all go up. So my junction equation is I have all these currents going in, B plus C plus D, and nothing coming out. Obviously, one of my currents will be a negative number. Or there's no current at all, which would be a rather boring problem and violating a lot of physics that we've done. Now my voltage rules start somewhere. How about if I just start here and do a loop around the whole thing? I got 3 loops I can do, left, right, the whole thing, or yeah, we'll stick with that. So I'm gonna start here, work my way around just for something different. So I go across my 3, which is negative 3B, because I go with the current, minus 8, minus 5B, plus 9D, because I'm going against the current. I'm going, then minus 4 equals 0. And then I'll do the right side. And I'm gonna start here and go my traditional first number's positive. 4 minus 9D plus 7C minus 6 equals 0.